Now that Akasha is online, hey, welcome everybody to my online radio show from which I hope you get much value. Thank you for showing up. This is Moreno from Vancouver Media Marketing, broadcasting from Vancouver, Canada. I want to acknowledge once again Lisa, who's online, and you. And we have 12 other listeners on the side. I don't see their names, so I don't know who they are. And there's also Sharanjan, who has subscribed, and he's also not online at the moment. Hopefully Sharanjan will be with us shortly. So my guest today is Akasha Mite, who will chat with us about the transformative healing power of crystal singing bowls. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to read from her short bio to give you all an idea of who Akasha is. So with a background in nursing and fine listening skills, Akasha has made communication her focus in healing relationships. She has practiced both conventional nursing and alternative healing. Akasha encourages people to know themselves and heal, and has explored and educated herself in a variety of traditional and alternative healing disciplines, one of which is sound vibration. She was first introduced to crystal singing bowls when a massage therapist played them on her. And I think this could be your opening story this afternoon.
Yeah, this is...
One moment, let me just finish your bio first. I'll give you the signal.
Okay.
While listening and feeling the sound vibration, she was led to the discovery of a deep connection to the vibration of sound and was inspired to use them for herself and others. Since then, she has used the energy from sound vibrations as well as voice and sacred instruments to heal people. Along with her masterful abilities, the quartz crystal bowl is her most powerful tool. Now, over to you, Akasha. Tell us a story about the massage therapist.
Well, first of all, I just want to clarify one thing. I truly believe that people heal themselves, and I'm simply there to help facilitate that with what I have, what the tool belt that I have. And talking about the beginning of my experience with the singing bowls, that happened about 20 years ago, a good 20 years ago now, when my massage therapist that I had been seeing for some time got a singing bowl and played it right on my body. And it was amazing experience. It was like an internal massage, and it left me very still. And it reminded me of how important sound and vibration and that's really, what we're made up of. So it's been a really lovely thing to incorporate into my practice with people.
Maybe this is a good point to ask you to tell us more about these crystal bowls.
Well, they're made of 100% quartz crystal, almost 100%, and they come in frosted and unfrosted varieties, as well as you can get bowls with precious stones and stone integrated into them as well. They were originally used in the computer industry in order to make, and they still are, in order to make microchips.
Yes, they do frequencies of computers. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and there was somebody looking for wanted to use crystal to make bowls to like Tibetan bowls to play, and he found out that they were already available. So that's how it got started. That was back in the 1980s. And it's been fabulous. There's a number of people all over the world using them now. They create a very pure resonance, very pure tone, and you hear them, as well as there's a very distinct, palpable vibration emitted from them.
Before
So,
you tell us more about the sound and the wave energy, which is super important in this world, because we know that everything is made up of vibration, waves, sound, energy. Not sound, but energy. I want to... Oh, she's disappeared. I was going to welcome a new listener on board. Okay, carry on. So,
well,
sound waves.
We live in a pool of energy.
Yes.
And that pool of energy impacts us. We are part of the pool of energy. And it's just the form, simply the form that we've taken. And so when a bowl is struck or a door is closed, there's an impact on that energy, and the impact travels as a wave towards everything around it, including people, and often you hear it, and you definitely feel it. It impacts you, and that's part of the reason people nowadays are so stressed out, because there's so much in the pool of energy. They're being impacted so constantly, every day, all day. And it can be very wearing, because you have to protect yourself and take care of yourself in it. So
obviously there are positive energies and negative energies, positive vibrations and negative vibrations. And I think you've said to me that everyone has a certain configuration of frequencies.
Well, we have all our organs have a frequency. All our organs are vibrating, and they vibrate at the rate that the frequency that they need to. And so throughout our body, we have all these vibrations, different vibrations in different muscles, different organs, our bones, our brain. And we emit those. And we also have chakras. There's 7 major chakras that are demonstrated in the video, one of the videos. But they receive and emit frequencies as well. And so we're like an instrument. We're like a violin or horn.
Welcome, King Darwin.
And pardon me?
King Darwin has just joined us. Welcome.
We emit sound. We can't hear it, but we emit a sound. We emit a vibration.
Right. Just back to the chakras. Yeah. You mentioned that first video that we created where you described the 7 chakras.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we try to play it?
Oh, that sounds good.
Maybe some of the people on this radio show haven't seen that video yet. It's just a couple of minutes long. Won't take long. Let me see. I'm now adding the YouTube video. Well, didn't like that. Let's try again. So here you describe 7 bowls, is that correct? The 7 chakras.
Mm-hmm.
Are there more than 7 chakras?
Yes, there are more, but these are the main chakras, and the best ones to work with.
Okay, here it is.
In this instance.
They're made of quartz crystal, and they have a beautiful resonance. They're very clear. And there are 7 major chakras, energy centers in our body. We will start with the root chakra, which is at our base. It holds us to the ground. It grounds us. It's actually seen. And then the next chakra is our second chakra, our creative space where we create from, and women create from that place. Mothers. And then there's the chakra that's our solar plexus, and that's our power chakra, the chakra that helps move us forward, that we are empowered from. You hear people talking about, well, he has guts to do things. Well, here's where that's from. Then there's the heart chakra, and the heart chakra is where we radiate our love from, and where we receive love. It's the part of us that is touched, that doesn't have anything to do with it. And then there's the throat chakra, which is here, and that's how we express ourselves, and the sound that we give to the world. And then there's the third eye, which is where we see from. We see beyond the visible. That's where our intuition lies, and it's connected to our power chakra. And then there is the crown chakra. It suspends us. It's the chakra that the energy that connects with the sky. Some people say it connects with God. Some people say it connects with consciousness, pure consciousness, and our simple state of awareness. And that's where I take it is a simple state of awareness.
Okay, so those are the 7 chakras, and linked to those bowls, I understand that you've associated various colors to them, which have vibrational qualities, frequencies. We know that each color has a particular frequency, and you've associated that color frequency to one of the chakras. So before you tell us a little bit more about that, what I want to do is I want to show everyone a very short video where you just touch on colors associated with these singing crystal bowls. Shall we do that?
Sure.
Okay. I just need to add the video like that. And then say okay. And then as soon as it's loaded, I say cut, and there it is.
It's related to a color, and each color is a specific vibration. So there's a resonance between the color and the chakra and the actual.
Okay, it was set for you. Do you have anything more to add about colors and chakras? I'm sure you do.
Well, of course, color is visible light, and we're colorful. But both of us have, we can see each other, and the chakras are associated with specific colors. The root chakra is associated with the color that has red, which has the slowest vibration. And the crown chakra is associated with
highest frequency.
With the highest frequency, and some people would say white, or some people would say a deep purple.
Mm.
And so that's a much higher frequency, and so the chakras are associated with the colors, which is a vibration,
Right.
are associated with the sound, which is a vibration. So, and there's 7 chakras, so there's basically, starting at the base, C, D, E, F, G, and A, B, which is basically an octave.
Right.
So
I want to welcome Joe
so
Lyon, joined us. Welcome, Joe. Now, I'm sure that everybody wants to know how you play them. because they're not just there to be seen or to be heard, or actually, before they can be heard, somebody has to play them. You play them.
Yes.
Tell us about.
Yes, and interestingly, the bowls, are always vibrating. So if you had really good hearing, you'd be able to hear them. Because there's waves always hitting them from somewhere, just the same as being hit, being percussed.
So you are saying, are you saying that a cat or maybe a dog can hear the sound from these crystal bowls?
That is possible, and I really can't answer that truthfully. I'm not sure if they would be able to, but definitely there is a vibration, so there is a sound. It's a very, very fine vibration, very quiet one. Yeah. So, but the bowls are played. The frosted bowls are rough on the outside. And I play them, you saw me playing them with a rubber mallet. And so that creates friction and makes the sound. And the sound is sustained quite a bit longer than actually playing the bowl. When I remove the mallet from the bowl will continue to play until it gradually gets quieter. With the clear bowls, I use a leather wand, and I play the very top corner edge of the wand, of the bowl with the wand, and in order to make the sound. And I tap them. Sometimes I simply tap them with whichever I'm using, and then there's it makes a bit of a tone that doesn't last as long, and I can play two together more easily that way, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
So obviously anybody.
But when I'm working, I'm sorry. Anybody can play them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just when I first got my bowls, I had at that time I got them in 1997, and my original ones, and they all came at once. And I opened them in the order from the root chakra up, and there was one bowl. Oh my goodness, it could hardly wait to get out of the box. And I took it out and played it, and it played so easily for me. And it's a bowl that I actually have a really strong relationship with. I would have to say it's my favorite bowl. And it always plays very easily for me. Depending on what's going on energetically, a bowl will play, according to what's going on around it. So sometimes they don't play as well as other times. And when I'm working with people, they don't, I'll place a bowl on someone and start playing it, and it might be difficult to get that going because there's resistance there from the vibration of the person that's receiving or about to receive the sound and vibration of the bowl.
Can I interrupt you, Akasha?
Mm-hmm.
One question. And before I ask you the question, I see that Joe has made an interesting comment. Do you see it there? He says that purple and gold is the solar plexus, the solar frequency. And this frequency is the assimilation of peace, the center, which administers to all centers. Can you comment on that? You also said
yes, but you have to remember that gold or yellow is the color of the solar plexus chakra. That's the traditional color, and certainly the connection between you.
Shall we, Joe? We invite you to join the video. And then you can ask Akasha the question directly. I've added Joe to the seat. We don't see him yet or hear him. Maybe he's having technical difficulties, as we had at the outset of this program, where your link didn't work. Okay, there we have Joe. We don't have a face. Oh, it's gone off. Okay, maybe we'll try again later.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you, Akasha, is you tried putting the bowls on my back.
Yes.
Introduced me to the singing bowls, and I'm curious to know if you identified any kind of resistance. You mentioned that some people offer resistance.
No, I didn't. I could feel, like, as you recall, I moved that bowl about 3 times in order to, as the frequency changed and the vibration changed and the relationship between the bowl and you changed, I moved the bowl in order to follow what was going on in your back. I recall too that, I mean, you hardly, maybe had them played on you for 5 minutes. And you found that the sound was the major impact, as I recall.
Absolutely. It was overpowering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it takes a while when you initially to actually be able to allow the energy of the bowl to come into your body. It's a big surprise. And so that just, gradually relaxes, and the vibration can be felt on the inside. So, when I work on people from up to an hour, and not necessarily playing the bowls constantly, of course, but gradually, people find that they're able to surrender more to the vibration, that it impacts them, and they feel very different when they're finished, when I stop and when they are ready to get up.
Clearly, you are reading the results from your client.
Yes, that's true. I'm reading the client.
How do you get this information from the client?
Through the field, through the vibrational field. It's a relationship that I have with the client through vibration. There's verbal communication, there's nonverbal communication, and we all know about those, but there's the communication through the energy, through the vibration of energy between us. And, we talk about, walking around somebody a distance, giving them a big space, because you can feel their energy, and they may not want you to enter their space. Or we talk about, somebody feels prickly today because their energy feels prickly. And so, we act in accordance. Or somebody is really warm and inviting, and so you're able to enter their space and be with them in a different way. And that's all vibrational. That's all from vibration. And so, I tune in, and it's tuning. And
literally.
And what people receive is an attunement. And I work a lot with soul work and people's relationships with themselves, deepening the relationship, creating the stillness, that helping them come to a place of stillness where thoughts are left, bringing them to the present moment.
I have a burning question to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
And before I do that, I want to ask everyone listening to give us props. These hands on the lower right-hand side, click on them and give us props when we say something interesting, something worthwhile, something educational. so that we get some feedback.
You know, I see somebody's joined us here, and I do believe it's Rini Brody. And I think Rini Brody's on. I see her on my here with me on my computer.
Yes, I don't see her, so
okay.
Welcome her.
Yes, welcome her. She is the master.
So the burning question that I have is that you said that you receive feedback from your client, and it's either verbal, non-verbal, or
energetic
through the frequencies. So I'm just wondering, the information that is from the energy, from the frequencies of the total communication, what percentage does it make up? 50%? 10%?
The vibrational, everything's vibrational. So even the movement, even our movement and our posturing,
right,
emits an energy.
You don't speak to the client, not much anyway.
Sometimes I do. It really varies. I never have an agenda, so you know, it just as the work unfolds, then we correspond accordingly. Some people fall asleep, but you know, they just fall asleep and receive what they're to receive. I work a lot now. In the last while, I've really included intention, and you know, discuss with people what their intention is, why they've come, what it is from an intentional place, so that they may be asking a deep question, and what is the question, and what do they want from that question, and then we work with that. And sometimes people really need to, in order to find the work with their intention, to find the wording for it or whatever, to take it to a deeper place, we need to go into a still place. And by doing that with the bowls, because if when I play bowls around you or on you, you feel them, so you tune into your body, and you hear them, so you tune into the space around you. And it brings you, you know, you tend to let go of your thoughts. They're not as frequent, and you come into a much more still place. And that's a much vaster place, and that's where the creative process comes from. That's where writers write from, and artists paint from that deep place, beyond the thought, listening to what there is to be said. So sometimes I take people into that place, and then afterwards work with the intention, helping them develop the intention, and then what actions they're going to take towards that intention. Years ago, I used to, you know, I've come from a counseling background. I used to do some counseling with people, work with the bowls, do some massage, and they would leave with homework. Now they most likely leave with an intention, or a shifted intention, or a deeper intention, and some actions to take towards that intention that will help reveal the answer for them.
Question. Until now, it sounds as if you're always working one-on-one. And before I finish my question, Akasha, I wanted to welcome Simon. I see Simon has gone off. So my question is, do you work with one-on-one only, or do you also work with groups of people?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I can hear you.
Okay, now you're okay. Okay, do you want to just ask me that again, please?
Sure. I want to know if you work one-on-one only, or if you work with groups of people as well, one to many.
I work I work with groups. Sometimes I have groups here just in my home and play the bowls as a meditative type of thing. And it's a wonderful introduction to the bowls, and it can be a lot of fun, and people learn to play the bowls and have an opportunity to feel the vibrations and to be able to read the energy too, because often I'll be playing the bowls and I'll say, watch for the one that speaks to you. Watch for the one that's calling your name. And they will figure that out. They will get it. And then they play that bowl. And so it has more significance for them. And I play them here at my home, and I also rent venues. I have done that in the past. I haven't done that for a little while, but I do rent venues and have evenings or mornings of sacred sound with the bowls, and we can do all kinds of things with that.
Which are your preferred venues?
What are my preferred venues? I like wooden buildings because the vibration travels in them. You know, the vibration will travel through a wooden floor that's actually a wooden floor, not on concrete, and it's felt quite differently, and the resonance is quite different.
Now, what if I say that playing these crystal bowls in a concrete building would also be ideal, because the energies reflect back. They're not absorbed by wood, like you now suggested.
Yeah, but then, you know, it's like sometimes if there's a lot of windows or something, it bounces off the windows and it can be a little bit intense. And I have to be very careful with how loudly I play the bowls for the size of the room and how close they are together, because they are fragile. And you know, and it can create disharmony, a dissonance in the sound if it's too loud, or if the room isn't right for the bowls. So I am quite careful about where I play the bowls, and I've tried a number of places. Yeah.
Which is your preferred place?
What is my preferred place?
Welcome. We have a new listener, Kevin.
Well, I have a few venues. My favorite venue's not here anymore. It's gone. But I have used. I use a room. Isn't that silly? Now I can't think of the name of the place. At First and Commercial, there's a healing center there that has a room that's actually cement, like it's a cement building, but the room works very well. But it's also in a sacred space, and that's cared for. So when I go in, you know, the field, the energy field is already harmonious.
Do you play outdoors?
I'm sorry? Oh, you know, I love to play outdoors. Outdoors is lovely. The biggest difficulty is getting the bowls to the favorite place I like to play, which is in the woods. You know, because my biggest bowl is 18 inches and it's quite heavy, and most of my bowls are quite large. So, you know, getting them somewhere is can be a little difficult, and they're very fragile. So, but I have played them outside. I've played at funerals, and different ceremonies. I may have an opportunity to play at a wedding soon. I've played at different celebrations, specific, you know, significant birthdays, significant anniversaries, and that kind of thing. And I also play when sometimes I have done workshops where I use the bowls. The workshop might not be too much to do at all with the bowls, but I use the bowls to set the milieu and to help people drop in and tune in. So I use it in various forms.
If listeners have any questions, please ask us down at the bottom on the right-hand side. /Q followed by your question, and once we receive your question, we will be happy to address it. Akasha, tell us about one of your preferred groups. Is there a particular group that stands out in your mind?
I can't. I didn't get that.
Groups of people that you've done this with. Has there been particular interest?
Most of them are adults, but I've played them with children, and it's really interesting. The other day, I had a mother and daughter here when I was actually setting up for your videoing, and Bella came in, and she had never seen all my bowls out. And she was really quite taken with them and went around and touched them all. And then we played them together, and she tried playing them. But what was so interesting is I was playing a bowl, and she just let herself be natural and started making these wonderful sounds into the bowls. It was somewhat strange sounds. You know, adults would find that difficult to do, but you know, she was just so wonderful with them and had so much fun with them. And afterwards, she was quite a bit more settled than when she first came in. So she had just come back from school.
Earlier on, you said that anyone can play the bowls. Mm-hmm. I can play them.
Yeah.
However, I'm sure that there is it's the same as saying that anybody can play the guitar. Give them the guitar, and they will string the guitar, and they can play the guitar. However, not everyone can really play the guitar. To play it well, one needs to have a certain set of skills, a certain understanding, a certain ability. I imagine that the same would apply to the bowls. Not anyone can use them effectively and get the desired results. Correct. Like, for example, if I had to play the singing crystal bowls on someone else, probably the effect would be insignificant, minimal.
It would be different. Part of my mastery is listening, and so it has a lot to do with being able to listen and hear the sound that's there, and it's like a master pianist. You know, there's something very natural there for that person. And some people find this very natural, and some people don't. Some people find other things work for them. I would say, though, that if someone were to choose, I'll answer that question in a minute. If someone was to choose a bowl, they need to listen to the bowls and choose a bowl that's right for them. And that bowl may be right for them for a long time. And then they may want to choose another bowl when their energy shifts enough.
Akasha, would you like
I have a question here. It's asking me what note is the heart bowl, and that's an F note. So it's F. So the root chakra is C, and then D is the second chakra, the third chakra, solar plexus. E, F is heart. G is the throat chakra. A is the third eye, and B is the crown chakra, traditionally. So,
thank you for that.
But I don't always play a B bowl on the crown. You know, I might use C there, because really what I'm doing is creating, listening and creating the harmonic. Creating the third sound, the sound that's going to move the energy, and sometimes that is a harmonious thing, and sometimes it can be dissonant. The sound can actually break up energy blockages, and I don't work physically as much as some people do, and they would work with the physical blockages in a little different way than I do. But yeah, So it really depends on what's required in the moment with the issue that's being transformed.
What can you say about the key of G? Joe's question. He asks about the key of G. Can you comment on that?
I don't have a musical background, so I can't tell you a lot about different notes or different tones.
I see that Lisa and directed the question to Lisa. Maybe Lisa can answer that question by typing a message. So to move on.
I mean, the key of G, resonates very well with a well-balanced heart chakra. I mean, throat chakra. And, and that's the throat chakra is where we communicate verbally with the world. That's how we express ourselves. So.
Joe says that an oculist is as adept, and then an emulator is a beginner. I don't quite.
This for me is not of the occult. So I'm not quite sure what's being put across here.
Okay, let's leave that. What can you tell us about the most prominent effects that singing bowls have brought about in people? Like maybe very relaxing.
They can be very stilling. I think probably the biggest thing is that really stills people. It really brings them to the moment and out of their thoughts to a place that most people don't go to very often.
Tranquility. Tranquility.
I'm sorry?
Tranquility.
Very tranquil, yes. A place of tranquility, a sense of calm, a sense of peacefulness, especially with the thoughts, diminished. It's a great stress reliever. Very good for stress when people have a lot of tension and are able to surrender to the sound and allow that to be there with them, and the vibration. It helps people learn to surrender. It helps people learn to be in touch with their bodies in a different way. It's different than running or swimming or playing a sport of any kind or even walking, because you're still while it's you're still and you feel what's happening on the inside of your body. It's a very fine vibration on the inside of your body that you feel as your body. It's your body that's vibrating.
I'm going to ask you for a story. And before I do that, I want to welcome Jacob Aaron Miller and Dr. Hank McCoy. Welcome.
Oh, okay. And I have a question here. Are you going to play them more? It's from that Jacob Aaron.
You know what? I'm going to play that video now. Shall I do that?
Sure.
Yes, let me do that. This is where you play.
They've asked if I can demonstrate a singing bowl here, and I don't think that it will work because we get too much feedback.
I am going to invite everyone to listen to you play the singing bowls here.
Oh, I really haven't. That's interesting.
There we are. That was it.
Yeah, I'm
In bowls.
Great. I didn't get it all myself. I don't know if the video played all the way through or not. But anyway,
Okay.
And at the end of that, I do say, you know, I play the bowls, and I do say the silence is just as important as the sound, because when the silence is there, you realize where you've come to. You realize the shift that's taken place. And it's an opportunity to just sit in that shift and just be present in it. Simply be present in it. And so, you know, silence is related to sound, and stillness is related to vibration. So, as we sit following this, the sense of sound and vibration, there is a very deep sense of stillness.
So when we say silence, that does not imply that there are no frequencies.
No.
Just
no. There's but it's the silence in you. It's the relief of the stress. It's the calmness of your body. It's the harmony that you've come to be in. It's a much more peaceful place.
So I want to add this. Would this be,
and
would this analogy be correct, where a person can be listening to white noise, which is inherently relaxing, and be totally calm within, and that defines silence, correct? Noise, calmness equals...
If your attention is on the white noise. It has to do with attention too, being attention, just simply being attention, not thinking, not judging, nothing, just being present to what there is around you in the moment.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes to go before we wrap things up. So I just want to ask you, as your practice and experience evolves over time, how is this all changing for you using the bowls?
Well, I talked a little bit about that in that, I've changed gradually over the years as I've added different tools to my practice. This isn't the only thing I do in it. I use various forms, but this is an excellent form, and I really love doing this. But I do work from a different base. Rather than working with problems, I work with opportunities.
So maybe you can tell us about what's fun with bowls.
What's fun? Yes. Well, I love to play them and make music, and I have enough that I can do that. And there's some interesting things. I won't go into a lot of detail, but when you put water in a bowl and play the bowl, the water becomes effervescent. It gets all the little bubbles in it. It's wonderful. And then, of course, because you're playing the bowl and the sound waves create waves in the bowl, there's a wave, it's just like rings going inwards instead of, when you drop a drop of water, the rings go outwards. Well, this goes inwards, and it creates, you create a little fountain in the middle of the bowl. That's kind of fun. The kids like that.
I invite everyone to give us props. Give us some props.
Thank you.
It's always nice to get some acknowledgement, some props, whether positive or negative. And okay, so we've reached the end now, and we need to start wrapping things up. Now we are much better informed, and well, I am anyway, about the healing powers of sound energy from crystal balls. How can listeners get in touch with you?
At this point, through my email, resourcing.
Perhaps what you can do is type your email on the bottom right-hand corner in the message column.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of changing things right now. So the best email to get a hold of me, because I'm in the process of changing some things. So that's the best one to get a hold of me at right now. And because I haven't done this full time, I'm just getting into that now. I've always worked as a nurse as well. And so I'm just developing a website and a Facebook page and learning about media, because I'm not one of those young women. I'm mature. We'll put it that way.
The last question I want to ask you is, which I'm very interested in as well, is how can the use of video help you promote your business?
Well, I realize it's a way of receiving feedback. I've got some really interesting feedback from people listening to the bowls. Listening to the videos. I've sent it out to my Facebook friends, and they've sent me some things that I wasn't observing, and that was great. So it sparks interest. It creates a dialogue, and I can use them. I can see myself using video on my website, to create, to demonstrate and educate. And also the audio part of it could be used for a meditation. I could be doing video meditations. So that people can actually just sit and listen to the sound, and have something to focus on, somebody playing them, or a bowl, something like that.
The other day, we created those 3 simple videos.
Mm-hmm. Well, you created one video, and then you divided it up so well into 3 different videos with 3 very specific subjects, and that worked really well. And they're short, and so
bite-sized information. People enjoy bite-sized information.
Yeah.
Too much information that's overwhelming. So what did you find most interesting about our little video shoot?
How easy it was. It was actually really easy, and I felt very comfortable doing it, which I didn't anticipate. It was quite simple. And I really appreciated your professional approach, and the way that you were able to talk with me, so that we just came to a really good conversation, and it was easy.
Okay, great. By the way, your contact information did not come up at the bottom. I've just put my link there for anybody who wants to keep in touch with me at Vancouver Media Marketing. Please sign up to my newsletter. And everyone, until next Saturday, I am Moreno at Vancouver Media Marketing. Is there a last word that you want to say, Akasha, before we sign off?
I'm just trying to put my thing back in Gmail. This has been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun, and I had some trepidation about this. I've never made a video before, and so yeah, this has been quite fun. Yeah,
great,
and a different way for me to express myself. Thank you very much.
You want to throw your contact, your email at the bottom there?
There we go.
Okay, everyone, thank you for watching, and see you next Saturday. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.